Good news can often get overlooked or buried by the negative in our everyday lives. So let's change that. I'm Adriana.
And I'm Wyatt.
We're just two ordinary people without any special qualifications or anything, trying to navigate life. We invite you to join us as we share wholesome stories, news articles of hope, and ideas of how we can all make the world just a little bit brighter. We are Uplifting Positive Stories. Welcome back to another episode of Uplifting Positive Stories. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
I hope you're here for some hopefully juicy secrets, although wholesome ones.
Yes, wholesome secrets. That's our topic for today. It's going to be an interesting one. These are all ones, literally the first title is I've been lying to my family for 25 years.
Oh,
which
geez.
Originally, reading that, if you didn't know that this was a positive podcast, you'd be like, oh, okay, that's concerning. But because we are a positive podcast, you know it's going to be something wholesome, something cute. So we got a bunch of those, which I think it's going to make for a very fun episode.
All right.
We're going to dive right in because we got a lot of stories. Here we go. So this one was originally posted to Off My Chest. As I said, I've been lying to my family for 25 years, and it was reposted to Best of Positive Updates. So there you go. It's going to be a positive update. It's just very cute. Here we go. I guess it's time for me to come clean. Not because I feel too bad for what I've been doing, but because it's possible that my eldest son is on to me. I have 3 kids and a wonderful wife. For more than 25 years, our family has loved doing puzzles together. Since we started, I've done something that may seem unsavory to people that don't understand the joy of putting in that final piece. To ensure it was always me, whenever we start a new puzzle, I take one of the pieces and I hide it in a green sock that's at the bottom of my dresser. Whenever we get to the very end, we all, once again, lost a piece. We all search frantically until I'm the hero who finds it.
Okay, first off, either your family are all kind of slow at figuring things out, or they're humoring you. There's no way you can get away with that maybe like twice, but like if that's every time, dude, I think you're the one being punked here, where they've known this entire time. I'm calling it right now. There's no way they don't know. I would know after twice.
That's so funny. Well, this past Sunday, we got to completion once again, only this time there are 2 pieces missing. We begin searching. It might be my imagination, but my eldest son gave me a look. It was a half smirk.
Yeah, because
I think he's on to me. Derek, if you're reading this, I have more patience than you do. I will hold on to my piece forever if I need to. Find yours first and let's end this madness. So that's okay. And then they did an edit.
Is this a Cold War?
Someone gave him an idea. They said, a fellow Redditor used a private message and gave me an incredible idea. I'm going to try and contact the manufacturer and order his missing piece. I'm going to find it when it arrives, then find mine immediately after. I almost feel bad when I consider how truly confused my son will be.
Wait, how big is this puzzle? How are you going to order one individual? How are you going to look up this one specific piece of possibly 1,000-piece puzzle? No.
I don't think he's found this thread yet because he hasn't approached me about it. So this could still work. I'm so excited. This will go down in family history. Checkmate.
How are you going to... How? And the level of effort to figure that out.
It's just so funny that, like, this is
That's
their family
crazy.
thing that they do. And he's so, like, I've got to punk my family. I've got to be the last of my puzzle. It's just funny. And then here's the update. Ready? Well, folks, I've been duped. I got up this morning, I went into the kitchen to get some coffee, and as I walked past the puzzle, I noticed that it had been completed. All the pieces accounted for. I calmly and politely knocked on Derek's door and I asked him about it, and he denied knowing anything about it. Like, super convincing. I went back down to my bedroom, confused as ever, and I just sat in bed with a blank stare. My wife asked me what's wrong, and I told her that the puzzle was completed, and I have no idea how it got done. She literally started laughing like a darn hyena. I've always known about your dumb green sock. I'm in shock. I'm numb, like a darn gut punch. So as it turns out, she's known what I've been doing for at least 10 years. She said she loved watching me walk around thinking I was some criminal mastermind tricking everyone, and that's why she never said anything. She wanted me to have my win while she secretly laughed and had her own fun secret. I don't even know what to say. I'm just processing everything. I can't believe she's had this over me for so long and I literally had no idea. She noticed a decade ago that I had just one green sock since I lost its pair forever ago and immediately knew something was up with it since I refused to throw it away. I guess that makes sense. I'm an idiot. I've come to the realization that she's actually the master here. It's her house, and I should be thankful that she lets me live in it. At least she promised not to tell the kids.
Well, it sounds like Derek knows.
Derek might be onto it.
So this be clear, he's been doing this long before their kids being born then, right? I'm assuming?
I mean, probably, yeah. If they're, yeah.
I don't remember hearing how old the kids are.
Yeah, he never said their ages, so who knows? But yeah, 25 years.
To say you're silly for thinking that this was a secret because
I think
that's
it's
so
super
obvious.
funny.
It is funny, but like that's obvious, dude.
We have our own missing puzzle piece story. It's kind of funny. We made Disney puzzles that we hung up and we mounted them in the nursery. They turned out really cute. But we did a Winnie the Pooh one, and there was a missing puzzle piece, and we were like, gosh, dang it. Oh, we're going to mount this, and now there's just a missing piece. What the hey? And then we were out to dinner with some friends, and they watch our dogs and stuff, and they were over watching our dogs around that time when we were doing that puzzle, and we had a puzzle board out with it.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, they're like, ha ha ha, did you ever find the missing piece? And we were like...
Well, I think it was, did you ever figure out our prank?
And we were like, what
I almost knew immediately because I was like, that's why the missing puzzle pieces.
Yeah, and then they were like, did you find the piece? And we're like, what do you mean? What did you do with it? And they're like, we put it back in the box. Like, wait, what?
It wasn't there.
It wasn't there. So there's still a missing piece. But I don't know if it was from them or what happened. I'm not really sure. But it's funny. So now we just say it to our son cheesily. You were the missing piece to this beautiful puzzle. And there we go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's forever a funny story. And we just move on.
And we just have an incomplete puzzle
funny.
hanging on our wall.
It's kind of funny. I think it's actually funnier having that story.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. All right, on to our next secret here. So this one comes from the subreddit Confession. It says, I have lied to my son about manatees for the last 24 years.
Lied about manatees?
Yeah. Here we go.
Okay.
24 years ago, my 6-year-old son got me a birthday present. It was a mug with a picture of a manatee on it. He got upset when I wasn't sufficiently thrilled with his gift. I assured him that I loved it, saying that manatees were my favorite animals in the whole wide world.
Uh-oh.
Since then, manatee-themed items have been my default gift from him. Manatee t-shirts, manatee calendars, manatee beer steins, and so much more. 24 years of manatee items displayed proudly in my home. My confession is that manatees are not my favorite animal in the whole wide world and never have been. I have nothing against them, and they seem like gentle creatures, but they hold no fascination for me. I only said I loved manatees to soothe the feelings of my young son over 2 decades ago. Year after year, I rolled with the lie because it was harmless and I was in too deep to tell him the truth. Now, my deception has reached its zenith. Next year, I'm turning 55 and he is turning 30. For Christmas, my son has booked a trip for the two of us to go to Florida to see manatees. My son is so excited for this trip and is telling everyone in our family about it. Even my ex-wife is gushing about my trip to finally see the manatees. Of course, I am thrilled to spend time and have an adventure with my son. I am grateful for his thoughtfulness and love for his old man. We will have a lovely time together and make great memories, and I will continue the deception about the manatees, which are not my favorite animals in the whole wide world.
But where are they ranked?
Edit. Thank you for the awards and laughs. For those asking, my favorite animals are dogs. Happy New Year.
That's a cheap answer. I mean, obviously we love our dogs.
Everyone loves dogs. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people like dogs.
That question is dogs or cats, But
Yeah.
I feel like when you're talking about animals, favorite animal, I feel you gotta exclude your pets.
Yes.
But whatever. Is it at least in the top 5 now? I don't know with manatee.
I hope so, or at least up there.
Or is it making like it less?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the thoughtful, he's like, oh man, I said that one time, and now it's been the thoughtfulness every year. It's the thought that counts. He cares.
There's a similar story with your mom and your stepdad.
What was that one?
about unicorns.
Oh yeah,
It
that
didn't
was
last.
funny.
It was not for 25 years.
Yeah, where
but it
my
was for a
stepdad
while.
like jokingly made a comment, like he's like, I like unicorns. I know it's silly, but I think it's fun and whimsical and like. So my mom every year for Christmas was getting him unicorn things, like not like girly unicorn, like cool like fantasy like statues of unicorns that were cool and
we got him some unicorn themed gifts too because we were
my mom
told
us
that he
likes
loved unicorns.
And then finally, after this was years, he goes, "Why do you keep getting me unicorn things?" And she's like, "'Cause you love it." And he's like, "I was kidding." She's like, "I didn't know you were joking." It was really funny. So there's no more.
I didn't think you had a sense of humor. Just kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
He's very dry humored. So like, so it was funny. He's like, "I was joking."
The sarcasm went straight over.
It was so
and he didn't
funny.
correct her.
He didn't correct her for several years, and then finally he had had enough.
Fortunately, it wasn't like she then booked like a trip to go hunt for unicorns or something. Fortunately for him, they're not.
I just think
real.
it's funny. Oh, it's cute. All right. On to our next story here. This one comes from a casual conversation, and it is titled "Wholesome Thing That Happened Today." I am part of an essential industry, and I go to work daily with masks and gloves on, so I'm assuming this was 6 years ago, so it was around COVID times. It is a bit depressing, and I'm often scared on the verge of a panic attack. I take meds, but some days are just days. The highlight of my day is this bagel place near my office. The most sweetest lady called Miss Candy works there. I go there a couple of times a week because the bagels are nice, but Miss Candy is adorable. She has the best of spirits, great energy, and humor. We chat a bit, and she tells me to eat well and fondly tells me that I need not watch my weight and I am perfect. Validation is something so simple yet so powerful. Miss Candy's validation makes my day. Since the shutdown, only takeout are available and the bagel place is so quiet. Every time I go, I order the same thing. 1 bagel, 1 coffee, and 1 cookie. Yes, I have a coffee and lunchtimes too. I'm a coffee maniac. And I don't ask for receipts. I'm always reading a book or doing rough sketches for my planned drawings. I feel it's easier to kidnap me as I'm not well aware of my surroundings. Today, I went with my colleagues and who ordered the same thing as mine and paid a bit more. I turned to Miss Candy and said, "Hey, I think my order is billed less." Turns out, she had not been billing me for the cookie, and I've been having it on the house for the last 3 weeks. She explained how she loves her job and not having people in the bagel place is a bit disappointing, and how she's doing a bit extra to keep people's spirit high as money is a crunch for all right now. I stood there, and I cried for a good 10 minutes. I live by myself, and having Miss Candy spoiling me with cookies is reminding me of my home, and I'm still crying. I'm planning to give her a small gift next time I go. Any suggestions are welcome. What do you think I can gift that is appropriate? Miss Candy is a lovely woman in her mid-40s, I guess.
Miss Candy, more like Miss Cookie.
Because she's giving him cookies for free. That's super sweet. And, like, he didn't have any idea for 3 weeks that she was doing that. So that's really wholesome. And, like, it just shows, like, an example.
How often was she going?
Sounds like it was every day.
Wow. That adds up. That adds up.
Yeah, right? So it was just, like, they're part of their routine. Oh, just kidding. It was a couple times a week.
That's still a decent amount,
but
though.
Still, like, still a decent amount. And to, like, not even, and it shows that they were doing, like, Miss Candy was doing it not for the acknowledgement or the, like, thank you. Like, she was just doing it out of the goodness of her heart, you know, because they had no idea she was doing that until that happened. And that's just very wholesome.
That also now makes sense why I don't take a receipt is relevant. Because when you read that part, I was like, okay.
Okay, cool. Thanks for the detail. Yeah.
No, that's actually relevant.
Very relevant. All right, on to our next story here. This one also comes from True Off My Chest. It is titled, "I have been keeping a secret from my parents for years."
I actually hate manatees. And or I'm aware my mother hates manatees. Or
my dad, I know that my dad hates manatees, but I keep doing it because it's hilarious.
That would be funny.
That'd be really funny. Here we go. "Hey y'all, this is an alt account because my parents follow my main. This all started about 10 years ago. I, 36 female, downloaded an app off of the Play Store that promised to give you cash if you watched ads. To my shock, it actually did. And I started winning big when I gambled my points from watching ads to the point where I had about 14 million points. You could use the points for gift cards. So I started grabbing $25 Starbucks cards. And before you ask, the app doesn't exist in the same format anymore. Sad face. All good things must come to an end. Anyway, 14 million points translates to about $700 worth of gift cards. But the catch was that they only restocked cards like 3 times a day, and it was first come, first serve. It took about 2 years of everyday ads to get money like that, but I stuck with it. The rewards were sweet. I claimed many $25 Starbucks cards, and yes, it really was valid. It was awesome. Was. Eventually, the restocks got few and far between, and then they just stopped. But to be fair, I had it real good for like 6 years. Now here comes the secret. I always use those gift cards to treat my parents to Starbucks. My mom, 67 female, and my dad, 73 male. I told them about the app and how I had an insane amount of cash on there, and we were able to get Starbucks basically once a week for many years. All it took was about an hour of ads every day. Sweet deal.
That adds up, though.
Yeah.
Especially if it was for 6 years. I mean, that's at least 356 hours a year times 6. That's commitment.
It's commitment. It was nice to give my parents something. We were never a rich family, and they took care of me. But, as I said, the app stopped being that awesome. Eventually, my points were useless because they stopped restocking. However, I enjoyed how happy it made my parents and how they'd light up when I brought them their favorite orders. The time we've spent just having a little lunch all together is precious to me. So even though I was no longer getting gift cards, I decided not to tell them that the app closed down. Because I know that if I ever told them that I was paying for all of it, they would refuse because they know I barely scrape by. They only allow me to treat them so frequently because they think it's free. They continue to brag about how I get the gift cards. Every single time they laugh and smile and are so excited that they get free Starbucks. When they call or we just talk, they always ask if I've watched my ads for today yet. I always tell them, of course. My dad loves to know how many points I have now, which is 0 because I uninstalled the app, but he doesn't need to know. They both thank me all the time, and it's a little slice of joy once a month or sometimes once a week. I'm never going to tell them that I have been paying for it for about 5 years now. I have no plans to stop. I still buy them Starbucks every time I see them, or we are out for errands or something.
So they haven't been using the app for 5 years.
And the gift cards
and
are
they did it
out.
for 6 years before that.
So they've been doing it for like 11 years. So they've been doing this
for 11
Yes.
years, treating their parents to Starbucks coffee.
Yeah.
Wow.
It says,
that's commitment.
Yeah. This secret will go to the grave with me. I just wanted to tell someone without it getting back to them. Today I surprised them with lunch because they're going through a hard time, so it's fresh in my mind and I had to make a post. It will always bring a smile to my face. I'm the type who never lies if I can help it, so I always get that OCD itch that I'm lying. But giving them Starbucks makes us so happy. It's cute that it's such a point of excitement for them, and I always want it to be that way. Thanks for reading my little secret, and don't tell anyone.
Wow.
Yeah, I just think that's really, really makes your heart happy.
It's a nice way to, even when you were, doing the app and to use it in that way.
To treat your parents.
You could easily just bank that yourself, especially 100%. If you're, sounds like it's easy money for you. That's a lot of time. That's a lot
of your hours you're investing. Yeah, an hour a day is a lot you can be using for things. So the fact that they did
just watching nothing but ads. I get annoyed after watching like a couple minutes of ads, like interrupting episodes and stuff.
Yeah. To have for an
so
hour
to do an hour of nothing but ads.
Yeah,
oof.
No kidding. And then to continue this without telling them so that they don't feel guilty that you're spending money on them. I think that's really sweet.
Oh yeah, for sure. 11 years treating them. That's crazy.
That's a cool tradition though.
Yeah.
All right, and then we have one more little story here. This one comes from the subreddit Confession, and it is kind of similar to the manatee one. Birthday lie to my mom has followed me for 30 plus years. I grew up really poor. When I was about 5, my mom was visibly upset because she couldn't afford to get cake mix for my birthday cake. All she had were the ingredients to make a German chocolate cake. I instantly told her that was my favorite cake ever. It definitely was not. I hate chocolate, and I hate coconut even more.
I don't agree with the chocolate. I kind of agree with coconut. I don't love coconut. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either.
Every year since then, for my birthday, she makes me a German chocolate birthday cake and is so super excited, and it takes all I have to choke down a single slice. When she sends it home with me, I toss it right in the trash. She's much older now, and I will never tell her the truth. And then an edit says, I see many of you saying to tell her softly, but she's in her 70s now and her health is failing rapidly. She struggles to make anything in the kitchen now due to her health as it is, and probably won't be with us more than a few years if we're lucky. I'd hate to change it all now, and honestly, no matter how much I hate it, I'll miss her yearly birthday cake when she's gone. But thank you all.
I could see both sides of an argument with telling them or not telling them, you know?
But
obviously, ideal scenario would have been telling them right away.
Yeah.
You know?
Or maybe a few years down the road when she was doing better financially. Like, you know, it's not actually my favorite anymore. Because you can also claim that your taste buds have changed,
Yeah,
too.
for sure.
That's very valid. That does happen.
Yeah, yeah.
But I get 100% with their situation, with her being older and stuff and having health issues, not to... You know, it's kind of one of those things that you get the German chocolate cake, and you just kind of chuckle to yourself, like, oh, that's continued on since I was a kid, you know, like.
Yeah.
And it's sweet that they, you know, when their mom was like, I can't do much for your birthday, and they were like, no, this is the best thing ever, you know. Very sweet. All right, on to our news article for today. This one comes from today.com, and it is titled, Restaurant Staff Cancels Holiday Party, Gives Funds to Coworker Adopting a Baby. So this was from a TikTok video that went viral. It was posted by a First Watch employee that was videoing a staff meeting that was happening, where the general manager went up to the staff and said, hey everybody, so something came to light. We're unable to have a holiday party this year. Sorry, something more important came up. And everybody's like, oh yeah, no, it's okay. It's totally fine. They were all in on it except for the guy who is named Norman Vales. He didn't know. The general manager said, everyone knows about Norman's journey of trying to adopt a baby. Well, these guys decided that it was more important for us to donate all that money to you and your wife. So Norman Vales immediately had to leave the room to go cry. And this video went viral with millions of views and thousands of people commenting and saying, like, this touched their hearts and stuff. NBC Nightly News actually interviewed Mr. Vales, and he says, I just broke down. I didn't know what you think or what to say. In a kitchen staff, you're in everybody's life. Apparently, him and his wife had struggled to have a baby for years, and that's why they decided to adopt. And they found a little 1-year-old girl in Honduras who was available for adoption, but it was costly, like very, very costly, and they had to take 2 separate trips to go to Honduras before they could adopt her. Which was a lot. They started a GoFundMe to help with additional adoption costs, but it only raised $3,445 of its $4,000 goal. And in an update, they said that their savings were gone and that their loans were denied. So that was very stressful for them financially during that time. So this staff donated all the money they were going to use for the party to them, which is super cool. But then, because this went viral, the CEO of First Watch, that company, saw it and recorded a special message saying, hey, Logan Landings team, we saw your video and we're so inspired by you. There's no way we're going to let you go without a holiday party. So they replenished their entire holiday party budget and told them to have a great time celebrating with everybody. And then they also said that they were planning on giving something special to Norman Vales as well to help with the adoption. So
a pizza party.
Pizza party. We each get one little slice. I'm kidding. It sounds like a great company with a great culture too, where it seems like they all got each other's backs and stuff. So that's super cool.
Mm-hmm. A nice gesture on top of a nice gesture.
Exactly. So
kind of reminds me of for those who watch on Dropout, Game Changer. There's an episode from the last season. Great show, by the way, just in general. But they had like a game show that like they're competing like in like a series of challenges or whatever. With like a grand prize, I think ultimately like it was a building prize. I think up to like 100,000.
100,000, yeah.
And it became pretty clear, like within the first few rounds, that the game is rigged for one of them
and the other two
to win every single
one.
Yeah, everyone was in on it. Like it's rigged in like the positive way. Everybody was in on it. Besides the person they were trying to, Jacob Wysocki. Like it was clearly meant to be like it was a gift
questions
to him.
About his interests, about his life, about his past, like things that he would know, so that he would get the answers right.
They had contingencies built in if he struggled with the question.
Wrong.
You know,
yeah.
All of his friends, like the people in important people in his life, like came onto the show and they were part of it.
Yeah,
and it was a very moving episode. You know,
it was super, super sweet, and he'd had apparently like it sounded like he'd had like a rough year the year before or something like that. And so that 100,000.
Sorry if we gave it away. It's still worth watching because it is wholesome to watch.
It's a really cute, wholesome episode. Yeah, all the Dropout episodes, if you ever have a chance to watch them, are super, super
on
fun.
Game Changer.
They're super fun. A lot of them are really wholesome.
I think good shows too.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah. With that, we will end today's podcast episode. Tune in a couple weeks here for stories to make your heart happy. So just like a cute little pick-me-up episode with a lot of fun stories that I found that I was like, that hit me in the feels, and I really want to share this with Wyatt and with all of you. So we're gonna just put them in this next episode because I can't wait any longer.
Yeah, and if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button or leave a comment.
That'd be awesome. And also, if you have any positive stories that you'd like us to share, please post them on our Uplift Positive Stories subreddit, or you can send them to us over email at upliftingpositivestories@gmail.com. And we hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week.
And stay positive.